here. And I'm still going to do plugs on this. I haven't done them. I just did fluid flush yesterday. Fresh fluid in the clutch, the brake, rear brake. Clean the fork seals. It actually didn't pass inspection with the previous owner because they said the fork seals were leaking and just had debris in the fork seals. So I got the fork seal tool, cleaned the fork seals, conditioned all the rubbers and everything, and yeah, we're good to go now. No leaks, no nothing, everything ready to rock and roll. I cleaned and lubed the chain. I'm going to do spark plugs, and we got to do an air filter on this thing too. I believe an air filter is causing a random stall when you let off the RPMs quickly. And we do have a little bit of a skip. I'm watching the tach move a little bit of a skip. Nothing tremendous, but a little bit of a skip. So I'm sure new plugs will take care of that. It looks like the rectifier has already been done on this bike, but there was a lot of maintenance that was neglected. It does have some bumps and bruises. Actually had an oil leak. Also, the person I got this bike from changed the oil, and if you look over here in the driveway, you'll see a oil. Well, it was a pretty bad oil leak. He didn't tighten the oil filter, so you know, word to the wise, when you acquire a new bike, just go through and make sure everything's right. I was excited to ride it, and I tried to film that first ride. However, my camera was not on the proper settings, so we missed that one. So just wait for the temperature gauge to turn on over here. Once that turns on, we'll click it down into gear and make sure this clutch is going to shift okay, because like I said, I just did change with all synthetic new fluids. These were actually so dirty in the reservoirs, it was crazy. So I took my time, cleaned out the reservoirs, bled everything out, so everything should be tight, right, and ready to fight. It is pretty warm today, very muggy, very sticky. The other day, there we go. The other day we were, oh yeah, putting the gear nice. The other day we were literally, 96 degrees and very humid. So the bike runs so good. We got the Insta360 camera mounted on the back. Hopefully that is recording and recording well. I haven't mounted it on this bike yet. It's the first time. So the other day when I tried to record, it was on my helmet, and it was so bright out, so hot and humid, I didn't have any of the settings right. So hopefully this works out fine. You'll know why. Oh, yeah. What an extremely nice riding bike, though. It does have a few bumps and bruises, and we're going to do a lot of upgrades to this motorcycle. A lot of upgrades to this bike. I think it's going to be a very cool thing to do. We're going to upgrade all the fairings, get rid of these bumps and bruises on this bike. What we're going to do, let her go. There we go. Insurance was very inexpensive. I put a year's worth of coverage on this bike for $99, and I got full coverage. So a lot of it's that my riding experience and age, but very inexpensive. I will tell you, the bike moves pretty good. I think they're very underestimated motorcycle. People look at them and they think they're in the sport touring class, which they are. You can get hard bags for these things and everything, but honestly, they're very quick. They're very heavy though, but they're very, very quick. These things will run an 11-second quarter mile. Probably even, when they were new, maybe even a little better than that once they were broken in. But an 11-second quarter mile, they do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds or less. So they're very stout. 110 horsepower at the crank and about 102 at the wheel, so there's not a lot of drivetrain loss in these bikes. But that's probably a legitimate estimate on these for the way it moves. Back in the day, I've had many Honda V4s. Some of the most notables were the Honda V65 Sabres, which were absolute animals that I believe back in the day were underestimated on their horsepower. Those bikes were simply, we just stalled it right there. See, it just, that's what happened. It just, once I let off the RPMs quickly, it'll stall out, and it's random. And it's not a wire, definitely not a wire. I believe it's an air problem. But I could be wrong. We'll see. I mean, I guess I could idle it up a little bit also, but it's got a factory ECU in it. Nothing's been messed with there. But I will tell you, it probably needs a tune because somebody removed the baffles out of the stock exhaust, and therein might lie the problem also. Of course, we know doing stuff like that without a proper tune is never advised. But it does run. Honestly, the bike runs, other than that random stomp, which is a pain in the ass, but it runs like a Swiss watch. There's no abnormal noises, nothing like that. Hopefully we got rid of that oil leak. Does have, the oil filter is not the oil filter that I would recommend for this bike either, so we will be putting the correct oil filter on it and also changing the oil again for my own peace of mind, even though he just did it, for my own peace of mind. And another thing, it was overfilled. Yeah, she just stalled on me again and again and again. Okay, because it runs down the road fine. It's only when the RP, when I let off the gas. So we're gonna actually stop and try to fix that issue. Let's do that right up here. So that's why I bring you guys along for my rides. We can check things out. So she's idling fine right there. When I let off the RPM slowly, we're fine. Let me see here what I can do. My idle is right down here, someplace. There we go. Well, we're on the road now. Let's take it for a ride. We stall, we stall. If she dies, she dies. If he dies, he dies. There it goes again. See that? See, it did it again. So what we got to do here is figure out exactly what the problem is, and then it starts right back up. Very interesting. For sure. All right. Let's see what goes on here. Very interesting. When I'm coming to a stop, it wants to die. So let's signal light it. Let off the throttle slowly, and then idles. What do you think, guys? Plugs? Plugs, air? Idle's about right. The idle is right. I smell the stuff I used to clean the exhaust with burning off the exhaust right now. I can smell that. Maybe I got something wet. Alright, let's take her on the road over here. See if we can get some of these quirks or bugs out of it. So we're backing off. I'm pulling in the clutch. Letting off slowly. We're fine. It's the quick die-off. Hey, so we get to troubleshoot. You guys get to come along for a troubleshoot ride, but we're still going to ride it because it's running fine. Otherwise, come on, Grandpa. All right, let's get out here. We're just gonna head into another county over here. It's Route 45, Jefferson County right now. And see how this goes down the road. It's running great. Like, don't get me wrong, it's running fantastic. Like this way, just that quick die out. So I think plugs will take care of that, and I believe it needs a new air filter. I'm gonna almost guarantee the air filter in this is not in the best of its flowing capabilities. And I say that because the service on the bike just hasn't been proper. You know, every fluid in the rear brakes fluid has never been changed. None of it has ever been changed. There's no doubt. Now it's clear as a bell. I mean, clear. But it was like just disgusting. And I had a hard time getting the rear brake reservoir off. That's how long it's been on there. So I had to be very careful not to break it to get it off. But finally I got it off. So this bike is a 6-speed, by the way, which is fantastic, which I keep forgetting because the Buell is a 5-speed. And I can see my camera in my mirror, which is cool. I don't have to keep turning around and check it, so that's good. That's good. So, back to the bike. It's very quick. Is it leader bike fast? No, of course not. It's a VFR800, but it is no slouch at all. At all. Especially in the upper RPM range, up to, 8 to 12,000. It's an animal. So I admit I cracked the throttle on it the other day. I saw a very quick 140 out of it. It backed off, and I never went into 6th gear. It's crazy. It never even barely went into 5th. It moves. It really does. She just needs a little TLC, and that's going to get it, because I'm a Honda V4 fan. And so here's the news flash. I traded my beautiful Buell XB9R for this bike. People say, why in the hell did you do that? Well, the Buells, they're not worth much. They're just not. And I believe the reason that they're not is because the actual Buell owners are holding them back. They're holding the values of the Buells back, because anytime somebody lists a Buell for what they think is too much money, they gotta blow up the internet and the forums about it, how somebody's crazy for asking a certain amount for a bike, not realizing that they're just, killing the value of their own motorcycles in doing so. Let the bikes rise in value. If somebody wants to ask $8,000 for a beautiful Buell, let them do it. It's their bike, and if it sells for that, that's going to change the market for your bike and make it worth more. So stop shooting yourself in the ass. I'm going to lock up. So there, I just dropped the RPMs off good there. Maybe it's a stone because I don't have wasn't up to operating temperature. So let's launch her a little bit here. You see how quickly that got up to speed, right? So that wasn't a hard hit, and it's still up to 120 like that. It wasn't even a hard hit, it's just getting going. It's just getting going, which is pretty good. I can imagine what it's going to do with a proper tune-up. I really can. That's going to be awesome, honestly. Let me fix that there for you guys. There we go. And that was my mirror went in and everything. So we hit some speeds there. Speedometer's accurate on this, by the way, too. I checked it with GPS the other day, but we have a problem with the GPS overlay with the Insta360 camera, and that problem is this. It's not right. Whatever satellites they're using, if it is even satellite and not using cell phone tower triangulation, which a lot of them secretly do, if it whatever they're using is not displaying correctly or and lagging severely. So what I put on my phone, if I look at my phone and what the GPS will say through the Insta360, they're going to be totally different. The phone's accurate. I mean, the phone's as accurate as you're going to get on I got a flagship Samsung model, and it's accurate, super accurate. However, the Insta360, and it's not so accurate. So take what you see on that with a grain of salt. It's not. There's lag. It's laggy. I don't know. There's no way of really changing it, the lag, without them doing some kind of weird update. Whatever they're using to do the GPS triangulation, it isn't working. properly or quickly, even on the deceleration. And it varies from time to time. Sometimes it's more accurate than others. So hopefully today it's a little more accurate. But it'd be nice when you use something like that to for it to work properly, you know. So I'm being careful with these tires because I want to make sure I don't have no oil on the edges of these, and these aren't the stickiest of compounds either. They're Dunlop, really what I call a sport touring tire. They look aggressive. But, well, we're in the village of Copenhagen, New York. And it's not dying when I pull the clutch now. That might have been an operating temperature thing. There very well could be. I don't think it is, though. I don't think it is. I think it needs a new air filter, personally. That's what I think the big thing is. That and smart plugs. Who knows when the last time the plugs have been changed, because when I got up, I've cleaned this bike from top to bottom with a toothbrush. And every little nook and cranny. Behind the wires, pulled all the fairings, everything. Even, like, everything. You just wouldn't believe it. Everything. We just head up into Krogan. Or Copenhagen, I should say. Krogan. Where's my mind? It's on Krogan bologna. If you guys ever have Krogan bologna, you need to get some of that. That's good shit. So lately I've been following a lot of the Facebook groups, and I gotta tell you, I don't like it. I'm not liking what I'm seeing. There, she died. I'm not liking what I'm seeing with the Facebook groups. They are the biggest bunch of, I can't even half the stuff that I read, and people treat like it's like take as gospel, just untruths, insane stuff, crazy insane stuff. I don't even know where to start. It's like it's like a bunch of little kids in preschool, like freaking motorcycle romper room but it's not just like that with motorcycles. It's like that all across the board. Like, idiots follow idiots. You know what I mean? There's simple rules in motorcycling. Number one rule of motorcycling, in my opinion, is you are never the master. The motorcycle will always be your master. You are always the apprentice. The motorcycle will always have capabilities beyond what you can do. The fact that you can't do it is your weakness. The motorcycle is always the master. You got that, grasshopper? Let me give you an example. You go out, you trick ride all day long, do stupid shit, stoppies, wheelies, weaving in and out of traffic, doing crazy shit, man. You can ride planks, you can ride boards, do all kinds of crazy shit, think your shit don't stink, and you've just pulled off the best stunts, best stunting anybody's ever seen. Ride your motorcycle home that evening, nice slow ride, pull in your driveway, and wipe out, hit a rock, hit a pebble, wipe out. Out of the blue. Let's head back here to the old... Copenhagen is a nice little town here in upstate New York. A lot of history here, but I'm passing the tractor. It doesn't know I'm there, but whatever. All right. Hey, look at this big gorge over here, guys. Look over to your right. That is a gorge right there, huh? Isn't that cool? Very cool. Very cool. take it a little easy down through here. Should be going into Jefferson County, I'm gonna guess. There we go, Jefferson, there we go. I got her now. Got her now, Jefferson County. Got a trooper sitting over there to the left too. In the rain. Putting up a new gas station there. I heard they're going to be carrying some pretty premium high-test gasoline there. Some race fuel. So, that'll be cool. We're going to go. We're going for it. See, that rear wheel just kicked out right there. A little bit of an acceleration, and she was kicking out. So it's not a very sticky compound at all. We're going to turn up here at the light. Yeah, it's starting to rain, but we're going to see if we can get a little bit of conversation in about this bike. The riffraff house, I call that one. There we go. Let's go up here and film. This is a nice little area to film. Let's try it right here. Okay. Boom. And boom. Kickstand down. Bike off. Okay, so here it is, and pretty much all its glory. It is a lot cleaner than when I started originally. A lot. Man, this bike it needed a lot of TLC. And when I say a lot of TLC, I mean a lot. Tires are good on it. The brakes are good on it. The fluids did need to be flushed. The chain needs to be cleaned. Something fierce. It looks like a new chain now, but it didn't. Exhaust, like I said, the baffles have been removed. The bike has obviously been scraped on this side, dropped on the other side. And I don't think it was a moving drop. But dropped where the handlebars came and hit the fuel tank. So here she is in this color, although it is a factory matte finish. It's got metallics in it, but it is the worst color to keep clean ever. It's horrible. And then there is that dent. That's why we're changing plastics. But look at the wheels. The wheels are in fantastic shape. Pipes are in fantastic shape. I've cleaned everything. It's good. So let's go over some specs real quick about this bike. So it's a 2004 VFR800. It's got the VTEC motor. VTEC kicks in about $7,000, I've noticed, on this particular one. It's a 4-stroke 90-degree V4, double overhead cam, 4 valves per cylinder, and it's 781.7 cc's, which is actually about 47.4 cubic inches, if I remember correctly. It's got a 72 by bore by a 48 millimeter stroke. It is liquid cooled. It has the 2 radiators, one on each side. And it has a PGM fuel injection system, and rated at 110 horsepower at 10,500 RPM. And it's putting down about 101.6, they say, to 102 horsepower at the rear wheel, which is actually pretty impressive. 6-speed gearbox, which really helps out with the top speed and cruising ability of this bike. Rear suspensions, adjustable gas charge. It's a HMAS damper ProLink that they put on it. You can see down in here. There it is. A beautiful up in there, right? It comes in dry weight of 458 pounds. It holds 5.5 gallons of fuel. They run about 11-second quarter mile. They have a top speed of 149 to 150. I think they're faster than that. I have a feeling this bike might be a touch faster than that. So I don't know yet, but we will see. 0 to 60 average that the people get with these is around 3 seconds, 3.1 that in that area. It has a 296 millimeter front brake rotor on the front, with 3-piston caliper, and the rear is a 256 millimeter brake caliper with 3-piston on the back. 17-inch wheels, 120/70 ZR17 on the front. They're a Sport Max Dunlop. Both of these. I have no faith in these tires whatsoever. By the way, I don't recommend them for sporty riding. As you can see, the lean angle on this bike that I have been using is very minute because I just don't trust it. And it's a 180/55 ZR17 on the back. Overall length of this bike is 83 inches, and the seat height is around 31.7 inches. They run a 530 chain on these O-ring. It's a pretty cool bike, right? I don't know what other features I can really say about it other than, I think the bike's going to look better. I'm really thinking about doing the anniversary colors on this bike, or at least more of a racier theme with this bike. The mirrors that you see on this bike are not the original mirrors. You can see it's got turn signal indicators on them. I don't like these mirrors. They don't fit properly. They're nice to look through. They're nice and clear, and they do see around me well, but we're going to put the factory mirrors back on it. Headlights are very bright for night riding. As you can see up in there, the exhaust is pretty clean. I spent a lot of time cleaning this bike up and getting rid of some stuff that shouldn't have been there. For example, we had LEDs in by the radiators and inside the fairing. That's why this toggle switch is right there, but I pulled those out. We do have, as you can see right here, a port right there. That's to plug in for, if you want to connect a USB device, you can do that. I need the other end to it. The gauge cluster is a really nice. Cockpit area is decent. We're going to put a carbon fiber overlay on the triple tree, and I'm missing a piece over here on the fairing on the inside by the windshield, but that's going to come with the fairing kit. I am going to do a full fairing kit on this bike. I am searching for the right company for that. We will be reviewing that fairing kit. So if there's anybody out there that recommends a kit, or if you have a company that has cool fairing kits, I need one with the tank cover also, because we're going to cover up that dent also with the tank cover until we can get a new tank. So if you want to show off your brand, show off your company, and really transform a bike, hey, reach out. Very cool. Everything does work on this bike. We do have that random stalling issue when we pull in the clutch quickly and the RPMs drop. I think that's going to go away once we do spark plug change and the air filter change. So let me know what you guys think. We're going to be doing a lot more on this bike, including some timed runs, and get you guys some real performance numbers on this bike. How does this compare to the Buell XB9R? I'm going to tell you off the line, the Buell XB9R will take it. It's just that torque. It's that raw torque. It'll take it. But once the VTEC kicks in on this bike, it's just a faster of a bike. There's no doubt about it. So it reminds me a lot of my old Honda Blackbird that I had. At the time, that was the fastest production bike in the world. Then the Hayabusa came along. This reminds me a lot of it, the way it rides and the way it feels and the way it sounds. But I mean, of course, it's not a Blackbird, but it's really, I describe that bike as sitting on the top of a missile. If you were wrapping your legs around a missile, very smooth, very well put together. And that's what this bike is. And I'm noticing down below, we have no oil leaks. So the oil leak problem is solved. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Revved Up with Mike. I hope to see you again. And I'd like to see your comments in the comment section below. If you could hit that like button, share, and subscribe. And remember to keep both wheels on the road. Bye.